The debate over who has the most influence in the coalition government continues, with Winston Peters now suggesting his boss, Prime Minister Christopher Luxon, is struggling. He says he didn't mean it in a bad way, but it comes as Luxon's other coalition partner, David Seymour, continues to boast about his party punching above its weight in cabinet. And as senior political correspondent Jenna Lynch reports, there is some polling to support Seymour's claims.
Can I have a sip of yours?
One must always remember their manners.
Do I have to put my finger out like this when I drink?
Whether it's a preschool tea party...
Oh, it's a very nice hot chocolate.
...or working with the most seasoned of statesmen.
He's not difficult to work with.
A year into working as a three-way coalition government...
You've got every flavour.
Winston Peters offering up an honest review of the fifth Prime Minister he's been in coalition with.
He's more of a detail than most Prime Ministers. That's a fact.
Don't celebrate clearing that hurdle too quickly.
The other side of the coin is, of course, he is struggling in a job.
Is Winston Peters right when he says that you're struggling in the job?
I'm enjoying this job and we're working very well together.
No, when I say struggling, not in a bad way, but when you're so new to politics, you're occupying the top job, it is foreseeable to take a little while to bed yourself in.
Oh, I love Winston.
One can only imagine how the Prime Minister would really like to respond.
Yeah, so it's really the dinosaur that's caused the problems here. I'd put the dinosaur into time out. That's what I'd do.
The soft criticism comes the day after his other coalition pal boasted he had a disproportionate influence over government policy.
ACT has brought ideas to the table that have risen to the top and the government is implementing.
3 News has obtained poll results conducted by Labour's pollster Talbot Mills, but for their corporate clients, that shows who New Zealanders think is running the shop. In April, 52% said National had control, 17% believed New Zealand First was steering the ship, and 8% thought ACT was holding the reins, with the rest unsure. By October, the Nats dropped back to 50%, New Zealand First fell to 14%, while ACT surged to 13%.
I just say I'm very proud of the National Party and I'm proud also of the contributions of the minor parties as well.
I've never said that I have the most influence. I've said that ACT punches above its weight.
Coalition government is here to deliver things for New Zealanders.
I just say bigger is better.
These guys are supposed to be working together for the betterment of the country. It doesn't look like it.
Arguably, National's biggest policy contribution has been its tax package delivered in the budget, though Winston Peters fired off a missive about that too.
Because it's had, how shall I say, no materially beneficial effect in terms of growth in our economy.
Well, I disagree. I mean, the reality is we did tax relief for low and middle income working New Zealanders by adjusting tax thresholds the first time in 14 years. That is about a cost of living initiative rather than an economic growth initiative.
And the public seems as split as the government on whether things are going well. The Talbot Mills poll showing 40% think the country's going in the right direction, while 46% think it's going off on the wrong track.
This is a government that has been very coherent, very united on the core things that we need to do.
Getting the country back on track
Well, no, come off the train.
is, it turns out, no child's play.
Well, Jenna is with us now. Jenna, some friction there within the coalition, but it's not all rosy in the Labour camp either.
That's right. It seems some members are a little bit frustrated with how policy is decided in an election year, and particularly the way that captain's calls are often made by leaders. We've obtained one of the remits that is going to be discussed at Labour's annual conference down in Christchurch this weekend, and basically what it proposes is that the caucus cannot make a change to the policy agenda without going back and consulting with the Policy Council first. And even then, if they want to make a change to the policy program, it must only be done in urgent circumstances or if it's part of coalition negotiations after an election. Now, there have been a couple of famous captain's calls over the years. Chris Hipkins famously made the captain's call to drop the wealth tax that was worked on by his buddy, his finance minister, Grant Robertson. A couple of years back, a couple of elections back, Jacinda Ardern made a captain's call to rule out a capital gains tax as well, and that has caused murmuring among the members about whether the caucus, the MPs, should have the licence to do so. So, set to be a pretty fiery conference down in Christchurch.